Representative Boutin. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is David Boutin, Merrimack 9, Hooksett, and I serve with Representative Hall, and I have a great deal of respect for her. I can always count on Representative Hall to bring forth some real issues of debate. However, in this instance, I do not support House Resolution 24, and I'd like to bring to the attention of the members of the committee the first, let's see, where is it? The first sentence, or the second sentence of the resolution. It says, whereas Section 603 of Jefferson's Manual of Parliamentary Practice, and then it goes on and talks about, well, I have a copy of Jefferson's manual, parliamentary manual. This is the parliamentary manual that the U.S. House of Representatives use in Congress. Here in New Hampshire, we use Masons, and we have our own house rules.
I'm partial to Roberts, though.
I like Roberts too. When I chaired the planning board in Manchester, I was Roberts all the time. This copy of the Jefferson Manual actually resides with our House clerk. So, but I would urge those of you who to take the time to read it. But if I could, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to just read a few sentences here. In the House of Representatives, there are various methods of setting an impeachment in motion: by charges made on the floor on the responsibility of a member or delegate, by charges preferred by a memorial, which is usually referred to a committee for examination, or by a resolution dropped in the hopper by a member and referred to a committee. So it's clear when you read this section, which the representative is using in the House resolution, that this was geared to members of Congress. This is the process, the House rules that the United States House of Representatives would use if they were going to take action against a member of Congress. Now, earlier in the manual, very early on, it refers to the President and the Vice President. But it just simply indicates that the House has a role to play if the President and Vice President were impeached. So I think that if you were to get a copy of this or and read it, I think on the face of it, you concur with me that the House resolution is inappropriate in terms of its text. Now, in terms of the House resolution, beyond that issue, we are elected here to serve and to deal with issues for our constituents of the state of New Hampshire. Congressmen and congresswomen and senators are elected by states to deal with federal issues, and that's where this particular issue belongs. And if I can just cite, there's many important things that our legislative body should be dealing with these days. Here's a good example. Front page of Union Leader this morning. Okay? That's what we should be dealing with. This is Coas County, the mill closing, the jobs lost. Not political statements where we have no control. Secondly, again in today's paper, there's a letter to the editor. Impeach Bush now. That's the method that these folks who feel that the President and the Vice President have done unlawful things. That's one method. The other method of approaching the Congress people obviously hasn't worked. And so the next option is when the next election comes around, they vote those people out of office. That's the way the process works. Now, not only do we have this problem going on in Coas County, we have the New Hampshire retirement system problem. We have the costing of education, financing education problem. We have roads and bridges in our state that are in serious trouble. We have a $50 million deficit right now. This does not belong before our legislature. We have many more important issues to deal with. And I would submit to you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, after what happened last Wednesday, this is only going to negatively impact the bipartisan effort of the various committees to resolve issues and move bills along. It's just not going to help the situation. And lastly, I'm not sure who mentioned it, but a statement was made about timing, and that the Congress is going to be out of session by June 1st. And so I would just conclude, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, that on the face of it, this House resolution has very little merit and does not belong before this legislative body. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hey, under Jefferson's rules, of course, I'd like to see that. Are you saying that a congresswoman, man can be impeached also?
That's what the rules say.
That follow-up?
Yes.
Then would you agree with then, I don't know why Vermont didn't do it, because their Congress didn't do their job. Would you agree that maybe if this goes through, that we amend this here to add in our Congress elected officials?
You go again, and again,
This is in accordance with...
both of our Congress people did vote on this in here. So you're asking for an amendment against them for.
I'll have to see that. Thank you, Mr.
It's in there,
Chairman.
so-
Pass that on and then check that out. Okay, thank you.
One quick question is, what would you tell the citizens of New Hampshire who say what happens in Washington affects our day-to-day lives in the state of New Hampshire?
I would say this, Mr. Chairman, and I believe very strongly that the citizens of our state have every right and really obligation to participate in our government. But our government is a very structured government. We have a United States Constitution, which governs the activities of the United States Congress. We have the New Hampshire Constitution, which governs the activities of the New Hampshire legislature. The United States House of Representatives has their House rules. The New Hampshire House of Representatives has our House rules. There is a process. It's called a political process. When citizens become so disenfranchised, then what happens? We could look at 2006 as a possible example where there was such a change in the body of Congress. That's the final solution, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. It's the political process. You go out and vote.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee.